Hey y'all, it's the Brights coming to you live from our studio audience, otherwise known as our kitchen this Sunday. So every week we're going to say coming to you live from our studio audience.
Just not the bathroom.
Because
we're never going to come to you live from the bathroom.
Well, because we're speaking it out. I think if we speak it out, like say call those things that are not as if they are, so as if they were. So I'm calling it out that we're going to have a live studio audience one day. So.
Hey, sorry we weren't able to give everybody a pre-show notice or a pre-video notice, but we have to go to Schulenburg.
We don't have to. We get to.
We get to. That's right.
We're going to Schulenburg to a really cool retreat center. We're going with our Dinner and a Marriage ministry that, some of you guys know we do a thing called Dinner and a Marriage, and it is used to do it once a month for a few years, and then
it was in the Heights, and we're actually changing that. It's going to be
I think we're going to start doing it in West Chase. We're going to talk about that today, but it's going to be off the Beltway and
Gessner and
So yeah, we're going to start that back up again. That restaurant that we had it closed down, and
just trying to keep us from helping people.
Yes, and we always had fun, and so. Hey Lisa Edwards used to come. Lisa and Roland, y'all been to our Dinner and a Marriage, and so who else on there? Hey Tiffany, oh my gosh, I haven't seen Tiffany in forever.
Glad
Tiffany
you're
with a
joining.
whole family of babies now that I haven't even got to meet yet. And so we're going to talk a little bit today. We don't have much time. We didn't have time, like you said, for a warning to let y'all know. Hopefully you can go back and watch this later. But we're going to talk a little bit about personality types.
And why opposites attract. Why do we marry our opposite?
And I wish we could have seen the video of Richard and I right before. We did a live video.
It would have gone viral, y'all. It would have gone viral.
It was just us, like we did it to just me, so only we could see it, so we could kind of see where the lighting and everything was. But yeah, just watching us try to work that out, you could see how the personalities were. We should have just kept that live, so everybody could have seen the personalities trying to get along, trying to make a Facebook video, and trying to agree on where the light should go and all that good stuff. So anybody out there, y'all just be happy. Feel free to jump in and just tell us if you are married to your opposite or your significant other is opposite, and those kind of struggles.
So we're trying to reach 1 million people. How are we going to do that? I have no idea. We're not going to be able to do it by ourselves, so we're going to need your help.
So tell them the story, though. So God just put that on your heart.
It just put it on my heart that I know marriage is under attack like never before. Never in our history has marriage been under attack like it is right now. And somebody has to stand up and say, hey, you know what? It's because we're doing it all wrong. And we got to take self out of it. But that's a whole nother video that we're going to do. But God just said, hey, I want you to reach 1 million people. And I'm like, us? I said, there's no way. We don't even know. We only have 800 friends on Facebook. How are we going to reach 1 million people? So we're going to need your help.
But you guys can help because one helps one, tells one. So I know that everybody out there knows somebody that's married that's either struggling or maybe they're in a great place in their marriage and they just want to learn some new marriage stuff.
So it's up to y'all.
It's up to y'all. The pressure is on.
If you accept this
challenge. So we want to talk to you guys about personalities and the different personality types. So we'll, I guess, start with us. Want to just kind of tell?
Our favorite
let's
one?
tell them about the 4 different personalities. Okay. So there's 4 different personality types, and then there's lots of quizzes and stuff. You can go online. There's books that you can buy. You can do one that I think tells you what kind of fruit you are. Like
are you a banana? Are you a mango? A mango?
Are you a banana? One is like, are you an otter, a cheetah, or
a lion,
snail?
Or
and then what's the one?
I don't know.
Like, are you a penguin?
Are you an eagle or a penguin or an ostrich?
I don't know. There's so many different personalities, but they all basically have the 4 personality types. There's the DISC. What do they call that? Like paradigm or whatever. You can do. We like to do the one that's the sanguine, melancholy, phlegmatic, and
by Florence Littauer, and it's called Personalities Plus for
Choleric.
Couples.
Yes. Personality Plus for Couples. We love that one. It's our favorite. So you can go online, take any kind of the quizzes, and you can kind of get a basic idea of the 4 personality types. So we'll start with
Choleric.
Choleric, because cholerics like to be number 1.
And that would be us.
Type A's.
Type A.
Okay,
like
so wait, let me give a disclaimer.
Okay.
If you take when you take a personality test, typically there are some people that are like off the chart one of those personalities, but typically out of the 4 you'll fall into some of all 4, but typically you have 2 that are super strong and 2 that are kind of, you don't get as many points in that area, or you're not, you have a few of those tendencies but not many. And so Richard and I definitely are too strong to have.
And we learned this, that in subsequent marriage, if you've been married, most times in your first marriage, you marry somebody completely polar opposite of you, because they have traits that you wish you had, and that attracts you.
And when you're dating, you don't see that those same traits that you fell in love with are the ones that are going to drive you insane later. Okay, so that's what happens,
it does.
because you think, oh, it's so cute, and then you get married to him, and you're like, why do you do that? So subsequent marriages, like us, we've both been married before.
You tend to find somebody who's more like you.
More like you, because the theory is, or the thinking is, if I find someone more like myself, I won't have those same issues I had before where we were opposite.
And this is all done in your subconscious. Isn't that crazy? In your subconscious.
And so we found out that it doesn't matter who you're married to, what personality, they're all going to rub you, okay? Whether it's somebody opposite, someone the same, because either way, there are going to be things that are good and bad. So we got the choleric person, which is he's the powerful choleric, or she's the powerful choleric. That's usually the type A. They like to have control.
Get her done, yeah.
They like to get it done. The leaders,
right. The CEOs of banks, presidents of banks, or of businesses, they're the ones that they
like control.
They like control, and they move in such a pace. And sometimes, if they're an out of control choleric, they leave a wake of disaster behind them. But man, they've got a goal that they're trying to accomplish, and we got to get this done.
They don't like anybody getting in their way.
Right.
They're the ones that come up with the idea. They get it. They like to have it done. They like to go, but then they
like if you're watching this video right now and you're thinking, you know what, I could probably do a video
much better than them.
Way better than they could. I would be so much more organized than them. You're probably choleric. That's right.
So. Okay, so that's cholerics, and then cholerics always, they don't think they're right. Cholerics know they're right.
That's right. I'm right.
And so Richard and I both, our number one is choleric, because we married somebody, subsequent marriage, someone more like ourselves. But then we have two that are in our top. So we each have choleric as our top, but then the next one is melancholy. And so my number two is melancholy. And actually my choleric and my melancholy, my type A.
Melancholy drives me crazy.
My melancholy is more of the perfect. Melancholies are like the perfect personality. They're the thinkers. They like to have things organized. Like I stayed up till 10 o'clock last night, just for an example, organizing my Tupperware.
Everything is organized. Her closet's organized. Her shoes are organized by season, not just organized. They're color-coded. It's all by season. I remember when I first started dating her, I would come over to her house and I'd open up the refrigerator, and she would have all of the food, and she had one of those little things that you could go, and it would make a little label maker. A label maker, and it would say lasagna Wednesday, and have a date, and I'm like, just smell it, I'm like, why are you doing all of this? And it used to, I go, it's kind of cool.
I ate the green enchiladas. I'm like, there aren't green enchiladas. And like,
they were good.
They're delicious, but they're actually started out red. But they're melancholies are introspective. They're serious, perfectionist. Like I said, my top is a split between choleric and melancholy. So we like to have space. Like I love to have space and quiet. I don't like when my plans get messed up. I don't like when people come in and my plans are off of what I planned for that day. It just throws me all off. I like quiet and order. I don't like the music on when I'm trying to work, and we usually drive ourselves crazy trying to make things perfect.
Right. So if choleric is the doer, then melancholy is the thinker.
The thinker.
All right. They're thinking. They're processing.
Okay. So just so they know kind of us. So I'm a choleric melancholy. So I like a type A. I like to get things done, but I also like it done right, because I feel like if it's worth doing, it's worth doing correctly. So Richard is a choleric sanguine.
I'm the play before you pay. All right. She's the pay before you play.
Yes. Yeah. Which we can tell a story about paying and playing later. Don't forget. Y'all remind us if we don't say it. Hey guys, I see people watching. Hey Bruce, good to see you. Hey Gina. Okay, so sanguine personalities. They're the fun-loving. They're the sunny personality. They're the
people.
Talkers.
Yeah, they're the fun-loving. Have a good time. Embellish the truth.
Yes.
To benefit them. Why'd you look at me like that? I could tell
looking at them like that.
No, you were looking at me through the screen like that.
What's funny is when you're married to someone that's got part melancholy and someone sanguine, you should hear us telling a story. Well, like right now. Like Richard will try to tell a funny story, but I have to make sure that he gets the facts correct, because it drives me insane if he doesn't, and I have to go back and fix the story so he can go on and tell the embellished story about how big the fish was.
She likes
it's actually a minnow.
She will let me. She likes to tell the story and let the cat out of the bag, and then she'll say, "Go ahead, finish the story." I'm like, "No,
I know. I don't do that. I just want to tell them spell the things."
Okay,
so I want to know: are any of you guys married to your opposite? Anybody? like, please. Hey, Stacy. I wish I could see you and Joe in person. Okay, so sanguines, they love attention. They're the center of the party. They love affection, approval. They're very optimistic. They're always the ones they're charming usually. This one, they're usually good salespeople. They're the ones that just, oh, are we on Facebook? They want to take a picture. People at church think I'm a sanguine because on Sunday is the only day that I pretend like I'm sanguine because my husband will outshine me. If not, and because of my cleric, I can't let him outshine me. So, but really and truly,
you're not going to out-Jesus me.
Not out-Jesus me, baby. So, but actually, I'm not a sanguine by nature. I am melancholy by nature. I like things quiet.
And you know what? I think in time, there's a time that we stop living as me, and we'll start to live as we, as a married couple. And on average, that only takes 9 to 14 years. Yay! And, Jesus was a combination of all of these personalities. And I just know that it has taken time, but I feel that I have a little bit of melancholy. I used to have none, but I like my stuff organized. I like to know where all my things are now. I used to not. I used to have a box of tools.
We're going to tell that story.
All right, and,
So that's Richard. So he's choleric sanguine, which he's half and half. He's like type A, but he likes to have a good time. I am a type A, but I want to follow the rules and do the things that now I'm not a follow the rule as far as like if someone tells me I can't do something, I'm doing it. I don't care if it's the rules or not. I want to get it done. I want to figure out a way to do it. It's not that I don't respect authority. It's just that I want to find a way. Don't tell me no, because I know that there's a way, and I know with God all things are possible, and I know that there's a way to find a way to do it. So that's it. Okay, so the fourth one is the phlegmatic, where the choleric thinks they're phlegmatics think they're right? But cholerics know they are.
Phlegmatic is we think the cholerics think that we're smarter than the phlegmatic, but the phlegmatic is actually smarter than all of us. They take it all in. They want peace at any cost. They don't want to rock the boat. They want you might say, hey, where do you want to go for dinner tonight? And they say, oh, you pick a place. Well, no, I always pick the place. Tonight, you pick the place. No, you go. We'll go wherever you want to go. And the wife or the husband is usually like, make a decision. You never make a decision. Make a decision.
And sometimes we tend to see a phlegmatic, especially choleric personalities, we tend to see a phlegmatic as weaker. As weaker, but don't ever mistake their nice or their sweetness or their quietness as
a sign of weakness.
A sign of weakness, because they're actually strong, they're just smarter. Clerics are big mouths, and we tell everything.
Phlegmatics dislike risk. They don't like challenges. They don't want anything or surprises. They don't want anything that moves them out of their comfort zone. They work extremely hard. They're very diligent in what they do. Yeah. And as a choleric, we need our phlegmatics. We need our melancholies, and we need our sanguines. We need all of these personalities around us. And if everybody was just firing in their personality, man, it would just make things go so much smoother.
Well, I think phlegmatics, and so cholerics a lot of times will marry a phlegmatic or have friends that are phlegmatic, because then you can order them around.
Or you think you can.
You think you can. Right. So they have lack of discipline. Usually, their lack of discipline and motivation often allows them to know they procrastinate. Sometimes phlegmatics start to procrastinate because they don't move as quick as we like them to. So sometimes they have to have a little fire underneath them. But once they get a deadline and they have a goal, then they are really the best workers you want on your team, because they get stuff done. They're steady and stable.
So how do these personalities work against each other? Here's a fine example. I have a friend that has a beach house, and he would say, hey, I'm not going there this weekend. And this would be Thursday, or it could even be Friday morning. Y'all go and have a good time. Take it. And I'm like, done. I would call her and say, hey, we got the beach house this weekend. Pack your bikini. That's all you're going to need. Let's go. And she would say...
I would freak out, because y'all know, some of y'all know me, I can be spontaneous if I have a few days to prepare. I just cannot be spontaneous by just like telling me let's go and everything when I already have a plan, I already have a list. It just doesn't work in my brain that way. So we would argue, and he would say, well, you never want to have a good time, or you don't like to just do anything fun. I just want to, for me, I want to pay first and play later, so we get rewarded. I like to reward myself. I mean, I do it with everything.
She will make a list, and if she gets something done that's not on her list, she will write it on her list and cross it off.
Out, just for the satisfaction
of
crossing
it. I accomplished it today.
Yes. And so, because he would want to just go, it would be World War III. And then we'd either stay at home and not talk all weekend because we were mad.
And we knew nothing about the personalities.
Or we would go and I would be upset, and he wouldn't really have that much fun. Or back then, we would just drink a lot, and we would just get mad and have a huge argument there because we didn't talk about it and we weren't in complete agreement. But what we learned after learning about personality types, going to marriage classes, learning about marriage, was that we needed to, he understood what I needed to be able to pay first to play later. And I knew that he wanted to have a good time. So we had to learn a balance. So he would find out, well, hey, how can I help you to get all these things done? So whenever we leave, you're not worried about it all weekend, and you don't have a big list when we come back.
And you know what? It was awesome because we would come home and the house would be clean, everything would be in order, and the only thing, and sometimes we wouldn't even have dirty clothes because we would do it at the beach house, and everything was clean. We just put it up, and we could actually come home and relax for the rest of the evening.
But that took years because at first he would tell me, sanguine part of his personality, would say, hey,
Remember I was telling
I'll
the
help
truth,
you.
but just in a lie.
Well, that was later. Like, you did start doing that, but it took a long time. And so I just want people to know
It sounded
it's real.
good when I told you, though.
Is that he would say, hey, we'll go this weekend. I know you got a big list. I know a lot of stuff you need to do with the kids and everything to prepare for Monday. I'll make a deal with you. We go tonight, Friday. We come back early, afternoon on Sunday. I will help you Sunday afternoon, whatever you need. We will get the house done, get the lunches ready. We will prepare all the, clothes for the week. Okay, so then we come back, and he had good intentions, just to give him
I was exhausted.
He was so tired because he drank all weekend, and he had so much sun at the beach, and he fished so much, and and then he drove there and back. So he was so tired that when we got back, he didn't want to help me. So he'd fall asleep in the chair, then I'd be angry, and then it would start the whole crazy cycle of, this is why I don't go, and we'd go back and forth. Just us or anybody else? Okay, that's Joe.
Just
saying,
us.
yeah, so you
Hey,
know.
Debbie, how are you? Glad you're here, cuz.
Hey, Natalie. Natalie with the beautiful purses. Okay, so is this helping y'all? I just want to know if you guys. So we learned like how we're married to this person. You think that you're married to your opposite. Maybe if it's your first marriage, you're married, or hopefully your only marriage. But let's just say you're in a marriage. You haven't been married before. You married your opposite, and if you learn about these personality types and you take these quizzes and you read about it and you learn what makes them tick and you see that that's how God made them. It's so much easier to start to understand and talk about those things, to talk about what's important, because we would argue so much about the differences that we had, and he couldn't understand. I couldn't understand him. I thought he was just
wanted to have fun all the time.
Just wanted to have fun. Like, you don't take responsibility. You don't have any, like, you don't understand.
And I thought all she wants to do is organize stuff.
And so there just needed to be a balance, and so I was doing it all, and he wasn't doing any, and then I was trying to come into his world. So eventually we had to get this balance, but it's taken years, y'all. This is 15 years into it, and it's been just in the last couple of years that we really have a better. It's starting now. We still hit bumps. Believe me, we still hit bumps all the time, but it's not an everyday thing like it used to be before.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so if you're in your first marriage, you might be married to your opposite, and in a subsequent marriage, like we said, if you're just tuning in, if you're married to someone and you've been married before, you might marry someone more like yourself, because if you married your opposite first, you thought, well, hey, I'll marry my opposite, then that way it'll be so much easier. It's not.
No.
So we married someone, both choleric, thinking that's good. We got type A's. We're getting this done, man. You and me, baby. We'll set the world on fire. Well, guess what? It was a big old competition in our marriage for the first few years. We competed about
everything. Cooking. Well, not so much cleaning. I didn't like the cleaning, but everything else we had competition.
Everything. I don't care if it was salting the food, if it was
how to mop, how to throw out the trash. We could fight about
should.
how to throw the trash away. It's trash, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do it.
How often we should do it? When we should do it? So just because you're married to if you're married to your opposite and you think, man, if I could just be married to someone that was more like me, that's a big lie. That's what the enemy wants to tell you, that you're not married to the right person, but God has you married to the right person. You just have to navigate and figure these things out.
Because what he wants to do is he wants it to where we've got buttons that, man, when she pushes launch mode, but man, God wants it to be that, man, when those buttons get pushed, it's not launch mode. It's actually been defused. It's been deactivated. I want to debunk something real quick. When you hear marriage class, don't think, oh, there's a marriage class. They're going to tell us what we're doing wrong. That's not what it's about. I mean, I wish.
About our marriage
yeah, that's true. Not every marriage class, but go see for yourself. Check it out, because it's just. Our class is just married people just doing life together, and we don't sit around and talk about how broken you are and how messed up you are and everything that you're doing wrong. We just say, hey, thank you for being here, and thank you for wanting to come and learn to improve your marriage.
Well, we're talking, if you do live in Houston, you can come to Marriage Rocks. This is a shameless plug. Marriage Rocks on Sunday mornings at Lakewood Church. We and there's other marriage classes, great marriage classes. Saturday evening there's a marriage class. There's one after service, right after the 11 o'clock service. Ours happens to be at 10:15. Great teachers. That's just our class is the one at 10:15. But if you're in Houston, please come, and you're welcome to come. We talk just like we're talking right here. We have amazing leaders. But if you don't live in Houston, or you're sending this to someone who doesn't have a marriage class to go to, there are so many. We live this is 2018. We have the internet. You can look up things online. You can find stuff about marriage. There's Jimmy Evans videos.
Yeah, Jimmy Evans has got amazing things out there. Look up Jimmy Evans' Marriage Today.
Now
there's Les and Leslie Parrott.
Now Dave and Ashley Willis are now part of Marriage Today. Shout out to our buddies. There's a great book. There's one of the pastors at our church, Pastor Clayton and Ashley Hurst, just wrote a book called Hope for Your Marriage. You can get that on Amazon. Y'all, there is so much information out there that you can read and start learning. And so getting back to personalities. So what if you are married to someone you're opposite, or someone just like you and y'all rub? Are you a walking in the spirit choleric, or are you walking in the flesh choleric? And so if you don't go to church a lot and you don't know what the heck that means, I didn't know what it meant. It's just, it's easy to be a certain personality type and say, well, I'm like that. You knew I was like that.
You knew I was like that before you married me. This is what you get.
This is what you get. This is how God made me. But that's not necessarily true. It's like you can
have
unhealthy. Those personality types or have those strengths, but operate in those strengths in a way that doesn't harm or hurt the people in your family and the people around you. And as you learn, as you get closer to God and you learn more about the Lord and about yourself and you pray, God will start to reveal those things to you and show you how, like I realized that I was driving my family crazy being a drill sergeant. I was trying to be in control of everything, do everything. I wanted it done this way.
Which is part of her personality, a choleric. We want to be in control of everything, And so, can you imagine how that impacted and influenced our marriage? I'm wanting to be in control of my marriage. She's wanting to be in control of the marriage. So we have two people wanting to be in control. So my way is the right way. No, her way is the right way. We had to have a happy medium. We have to be able to come together and say, you know what, I don't agree with that, but is it going to make a difference in our marriage? Is it going to hurt our marriage? Is it going to help our marriage? We heard that 90% of the things that go on in a marriage have no ramifications in the marriage whatsoever. Doesn't even, there's 10% that matters.
90% of the things that you argue about are things
don't even
that
matter.
Don't even really need to be brought up. But we had to start praying about these things, and if there's areas in your life that you're arguing about, or just a constant stress in certain areas, that gives you the perfect thing to pray about. If you're not sure what to pray about your spouse, and maybe your spouse won't pray with you, maybe just pray for them right now. And not so much that, oh Lord, please change them, but Lord, show me how I can be better to deal with this person and their personality, and God will start to reveal to them. I tried making Richard change and beating him up, not beating him up for real, but just just beating him up with my words and trying to just get him to change. And I'm the one who had to change. I had to work some things out in myself. God then started working out some stuff in him. Then he started helping me. Then I started helping him. Then it started working. And then all of a sudden, now you got like this groove going. But
if we're sitting there talking about a lot of prayer and a lot of God and a lot of Jesus, and you might be out there going like, man, I don't go to church. I don't have a relationship with God. I don't have a relationship with Jesus. That's cool, man. I mean, neither did I. When I first came to church, I didn't even want to go to church. She drugged me to church, and not like, here, take these. But she made me go to church, and I was kicking and screaming. I didn't want to be there. I thought it was all, a bunch of fake stuff. I didn't, everybody I knew that went to church was all perfect on the outside, but they were broken at home, and that just didn't relate to me. So, man, it's okay. Man, just come as you are. Just get plugged in. Figure out, learn. Just learn and grow,
Yeah, and so I know we're about to get.
I have ADD, OMG sometimes,
So we're about to jump off here, but just go back and watch the video if you just tuned in. But we talked a little bit about we talked a lot about the different personality types, the 4 different personality types. Maybe it'll give you a little insight to understand the person you're married to a little bit more. We really encourage you to go out there and get online, take a quiz, find out what your personality type is.
There are quizzes out there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Personality Plus for Couples by Florence Littauer is probably our favorite one. And but find out that stuff, read about it, and if you haven't taken it in a while, retake it.
Yeah, and we didn't tell you that there's also, this was just a glimpse of what it is, but then there is a pro and a con to this. It shows where the strengths and weaknesses are in each personality, so that when you see that, you can go like, oh, that's why my husband's like that. You know, that when he gets depressed, a little bit more, man, melancholics have that tendency to get more depressed.
Well, they want things perfect, but then if their efforts don't measure up to their standards, then they have a tendency to. Then you wonder what's wrong with him. Like, I'm always having to.
And I can't ever approach him. Every time I approach him, he gets angry. So there's a window that, man, all of these personalities can be approached, and we have to figure out what that is, and it's already exposed to us. We already know how. All we have to do is do a little bit of reading, a little bit of research, some prayer about it, and then we'll know how to address each other and comfort each other and talk to one another.
And just know that if God put you with your opposite, or even with someone that's just
It's a
like
blessing.
you, and y'all still rub, because like I said earlier in the video, we married each other and had a lot of things that were the same, but it was a bigger rub than being married to somebody opposite, because then we were in competition with each other.
And if we were the same, one of us isn't needed.
We don't need each other. God put you with the right person. He did. He put with you on purpose. And sometimes he puts that person that, they're kind of like sandpaper. I felt like he was always rubbing me wrong, like sandpaper. But what you learn after a while, what happens if you just keep...
You're so smooth now.
So smooth. Because if you roast it like a diamond's a piece of coal. But if it keeps getting rubbed and under pressure and all those things, it becomes beautiful. And that's how your marriage can become. Let that rub become something that God's working stuff out in you.
If it's a rub, it's an issue.
Yeah.
If it's a rub, there's an issue.
And if your spouse or partner is always telling you, this about your personality, and you get defensive, maybe in your quiet time, look back and go, you know what? There's probably a little truth to that. Maybe I'm an out of control choleric, or an out of control phlegmatic, or sanguine, or melancholy, whatever your personality type is. So real quick, we'll go over them, then we're going to wrap it up. So we got the peaceful personality, which is the phlegmatic, which we talked about. They have great strengths of
getting the stuff done. They work really
they're
hard.
very quiet. They're very diligent.
They don't want any conflict. They don't want to take risk.
They don't make decisions about dinner sometimes. But they also can be. They also can procrastinate.
They come across lazy, like they're lazy.
Right.
But they're
actually,
not.
It's just that they're peaceful. They like peace. We have the perfect melancholy, who likes everything orderly, and they can come across very rigid and stiff, and they like to follow the rules. They like to think things through. They sometimes need a little more time to process. And if you're married to a melancholy and you're a strong personality, you're going to drive them over the edge if you don't give them time to process. And it doesn't mean that they don't care. Sometimes they're just working it out. Richard and I go through this all the time, because we're choleric, but I'm a choleric melancholy. So he's always telling me, we were talking about what to put on the video. What was the title going to be to get people to watch? Well, I just need a second to think about it. And he's like, what about this? What about this? I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, you're freaking me out right now. Give me a second to let me think about it. And so that's the melancholy. So then the perfect personality, sanguine, it has the
fun-loving personality.
They're the relationship person. They're all about relationship. They love attention. They're a lot.
If you want to throw a party, have a sanguine in charge of it,
yes.
because they will make sure that everybody has a great time.
They're usually boisterous. They like motivating people. They're very optimistic, but they also can be disorganized, emotional. So those are your drama queens sometimes. So that's there's two sides to it. And then the last one is the choleric, which, that's us. And that's the type A. We like to get things done. We're very to the point. Sometimes it can really hurt people's feelings, because you don't maybe tell all the details, because you just want to just put it out there and get it done.
Just give me the details. I don't need to hear the whole story. Tell me, land the plane. Cholerics, land the plane.
Yeah.
And circles are, land the plane. So,
it's hard sometimes for us, because our number one both is choleric. So there's times where he wants to be romantic because he's the sanguine, and he wants to love, and he wants to be all like do something really sweet for me. And I'm like, hey, let's just do this. Like, you want to hold hands? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you good? Okay. And I forget that he's relational. His number one strength when we did the strength finders is I think it's relation.
Judging.
Or judging. No, it's not judging.
Oh, it's not.
But in this top 5, he has relator. He's a relator, right. So he's really good at that. So anyway, so that kind of wraps it up. The choleric, the sanguine, the melancholy, the phlegmatic. There's different tests out there. Go take the.
Please go do this. This is how we're going to reach 1 million people, because y'all are all going to do it by tomorrow. All right. So when we sign on tomorrow, we want to see that 1 million people. Oh no! When we go and look, we're going to see that 1 million people have watched these videos.
Love it. We have a YouTube channel, but we don't even know how to put the videos on it
It's
yet.
coming. It's
but
coming.
We're learning, and we're
Thank
better
y'all
than we
for
were
your
last
support.
Week. The life looks
Thank
better.
you for loving us, and thank you for
Yes.
just being a part of this.
Yes, we love y'all. We're going to keep bringing these to y'all, keep encouraging us. We got a
Because
lot of encouragement.
marriage
this week.
is the closest thing to heaven on earth, and it brings the most joy, the most pleasure, the most fun, the most excitement, and the most of everything. But we have to do it right, because when we do it wrong, it's the closest thing to hell on earth. All right, so let's do this right.
Like prison.
Yeah, I need
I need
parole.
parole.
I need parole.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Well,
We love y'all.
Jinx on you.
Peace out.
Deuce.